And I had a just random thought one night about just some harm, and it just stuck. And it stuck hard. I had no idea what was happening, not a clue. It went into where I couldn't sleep. I was panicking every time I closed my eyes. This summer, I had a really bad spike. Went down the Google rabbit hole, ended up finding you guys. And this company, I will say, basically saved my life. I still have those days that are really dark, that are really rough. But, being able to use the ERP and separate myself from that OCD brain, as I've learned, you are not OCD. You are not what it tells you. You are actually the complete opposite of what it tells you.
Whether you realize it or not, you probably know someone with obsessive compulsive disorder, or maybe you love someone with OCD. And if those two don't fit, you might be the person with obsessive compulsive disorder. Because of this, OCD awareness is so personal for all of us. We hope that raising awareness will bring hope to everyone and their friends and their families who are affected by obsessive compulsive disorder. When we recognize what OCD really is, it offers us a couple of options. We can see the signs in ourselves and others much quicker. That can help to end a great deal of suffering. NOCD is the world's leading OCD treatment provider, and I'm honored to lead a team of licensed clinicians who are specially trained to accurately diagnose OCD and provide the treatment of choice, exposure and response prevention, so that we know that we can give people the lives that they want to live and help them not live the lives that OCD wants them to live. In addition to that, for OCD, it means applying the work that we do to other conditions that often come along with obsessive compulsive disorder, such as body-focused repetitive behaviors, tics, hoarding, anxiety disorders, mood conditions, trauma, and even body dysmorphic disorder. If any of these are things that are affecting you or your loved ones or family, know that help is available. If you're looking for help, you can check us out at NOCD.com. That's NOCD.com. Our goal is simple: to make sure that nothing, not OCD, not stigma, not misconceptions, gets in the way of you living the life you want. You deserve to focus on things that bring you joy and meaning. Helping you is just personal to us. It's what we do. Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of the Get to Know OCD podcast. We're so happy to have you here with us today. As always, if you're interested in watching other episodes of the podcast, you can get them on our NOCD YouTube channel or get them wherever you subscribe to your favorite podcast provider. And if you're looking for help for OCD, check us out at NOCD.com. That's NOCD.com. Today, we have Jen Wiles with us. Hi, Jen. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. I'm nervous, but I'm here. I'm happy.
Oh, we only take non-nervous people to the podcast, Jen, so we'll have to do this again sometime. All right, bye. Well, welcome. We're happy to have you here. And you reached out wanting to chat about opening up about your OCD and treatment. And so we're thrilled to have you here to chat. And thank you for sharing your story, because it is fun, of course, when we have people here who are famous and who talk about all the cool stuff they're doing and how they've lived with OCD and everything. But that's one side of it.
Yeah.
I think what's also incredibly awesome and relatable is the day-to-day folks who have OCD who come in and say, listen, I may not be famous, I may not be on TV or radio, but OCD affects my life too. And so the fact that you reached out and wanted to talk about that and be open about it, I commend you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to be here.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about, what is your OCD story? How did it start? And how did it end up to a point where you decided it was time to get some treatment for it?
Sure. So my story kind of culminated, I think I had little quirks, growing up and into early adulthood. Nothing that ever hindered my life per se. But then when I was I had a very stressful time in my life when I was about 28, 29. I had a lot of things going on. I was getting married. I was finishing nursing school, working a part-time job, working a full-time job, redoing the house, just a lot of stress at once. And I think it just kind of broke me. And I had a just random thought one night about just some harm. And it just stuck, and it stuck hard. And then I just spiraled, I guess, mentally, just trying to diminish that thought and get rid of it. It centered around harm, and someone that was very important to me, a very important family member. And I had no idea what was happening, not a clue. It went into where I couldn't sleep. I was panicking every time I closed my eyes. That thought would be there. And it just continued and continued, and it would pick and choose different people that I cared about. I ended up Googling I was even scared to Google my symptoms because I was terrified that, somebody would see what I was Googling, and here I am finishing nursing school, and, it was terrible. And so I ended up piecing together little pieces and parts of what was going on, and learned that, OCD was probably what I had, and looked more into the harm part of it, and ended up, kind of just self-diagnosing for a little bit. And I went to my primary doctor, just spoke of anxiety. My primary doctor is a very close friend, so I obviously didn't want to let them in on a crack or flaw in my life,
You
because
don't want to tell your friend about all the harm you were thinking of causing?
No, and
Yep.
you want to be, you want to be this upstanding citizen, and you don't want anybody to know that, you're not. And so I got on a low dose medication, and I think it helped a little bit, but I did reach out to just some general talk therapy. I did that for years. It helped, but it wasn't OCD specific at all. It was just basically just talking to a friend. It did help, but it was nothing. It didn't deep dive into anything that needed taking care of. And then a couple years after we got married, I got pregnant with my daughter, and under my OB's, care and my general doctor, we weaned off of my medication for, I think the whole time. I don't think I took anything with my daughter. I was terrified because I was just under the guise that if I took anything, I would harm my kid, even though, all these doctors were telling me it was fine. I wouldn't even drink Diet Pop. I was just, high OCD, welcome to being pregnant with OCD.
Yeah.
And so I did end up seeing a psychiatrist. And once I got past the stigma of that, and I would like to point out that I think it's extremely important to go to someone that specializes in what's wrong. So I have a lot of people that, with myself being a nurse, I have a lot of people that come to me. I work in the mental health field. And for a long time, I was ashamed, and there was such a stigma with going to see a psychiatrist. And you wouldn't go to a cardiac doctor for GI problems, like you need to go to someone who specializes in your brain, which is an organ. And so I ended up going to the psychiatrist, and he did diagnose me with OCD. I had some panic issues with that as well. But looking back now, I think the panic is from the untreated OCD. Because I got into such a deep spiral. So then I had my daughter. Things got rough again. I ended up going back on some medication. I went on quite a high dose, actually, because I didn't reach out to my psychiatrist. I just specifically went to my OB, and they put me on quite a heavy dose because, to the OB, it's anxiety and it's postpartum. And I never really told anybody that I was diagnosed with OCD. It was at that point, it was, I was scared. I was embarrassed, and So they put me on a pretty heavy dose of medication. I was really sleepy all the time. It wasn't the right med. My thoughts were rough with my babies. They were rough. And now looking back, now that I know more about OCD, I know that it attacks what you care about most. Yep. And, my family definitely is what I care about the most in my whole life, Mm-hmm. And, so after I had my daughter, I went back to my psychiatrist, and I was not on the right medication. So he changed it for me. And then, let's see, probably 3 years after that. I mean, I struggled. It's always there. It's always in the background. Some days it's more sitting in the passenger seat. Some days it's driving. Some days it's in the trunk, I guess, but it's kind of always with me. And when I got pregnant with my son, and I knew, right away, I didn't want to feel like how I felt with, my daughter. So I worked with my OB and my psych, and we got my meds fixed, and ended up, I think towards the end of my third trimester, I was able to go off of it for a while, under his recommendation. And then, as soon as I delivered, I went back on. So, okay. And that really helped me through that postpartum period. And I did breastfeed both my kids, and I was terrified of that because I was terrified that I would hurt them through through doing that. But mm-hmm. I followed my doctor's advice, and my kids are fantastic and smart and strong, and they're the best two things that have ever happened to me. So yeah. And then, after my postpartum journey, I think I did okay for, I would say maybe 4 or 5 years. This summer I had a really bad spike, went down the Google rabbit hole again, ended up finding you guys, and, this company, I will say, basically saved my life. So, and that's where I'm at.
That's awesome. I've been thrilled that you found evidence-based treatment. That's great.
Without a doubt. And the way this is set up and how it has helped me is beyond words.
What was it like to finally talk to someone about what was really going on and finally be honest about it?
Right. So, I remember the day that I scheduled the Zoom call, and, it was in between. It was on my lunch break, and I was terrified. I was in a really dark place. I was deep inside of a spiral. And when you're, people that are watching this know when you're in that spiral, you're in that spiral. And that's the only thing that you can focus on. And your logical brain is not firing. It's not online. And you are offline for the time. And I was terrified to tell her. I was worried about, what she would say, how she would think, is she going to call CPS? Are my kids going to be gone when I get home? I was just in a really bad place. But once I spent a few minutes with her, and I knew that she was the right one. So it didn't take long at all. And I knew she could help me. And it was a big, big weight lifted off to know that you find somebody that gets you and that understands.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For years then, you have this anxiety, this suffering, this I can't tell anyone, this shame, this guilt, torture, this embarrassment, this torture. That will resonate with so many people listening to this. And now that you've come out kind of on the other side of that, what would you say to people? And this is normally when I'm ending, I'm like, what's your advice? But I think I want to talk about this today more so than I normally do. Did you need to suffer that long?
Looking back, I wish I would have found this option earlier. When I was doing my Googling and research and stuff, I just never found this. I don't know how long your company's been, how long have you guys been going?
Well, we've been doing the teletherapy for 5 years, but the app's been around for quite a while.
Yeah. So I just didn't find it. God, I wish I would have found it sooner. Like I said, talk therapy. I've been in counseling since I've been a kid. I have a lot of generational trauma, so to speak. And I think it, that was part of it too. I think it all builds up, and, it just takes one thing sometimes to make it crack. But, the talk therapy worked to help with just the base anxiety, but to get into the OCD, yeah, I wish I would have found this a lot sooner, for sure.
And you're almost living a dual life, right? You've got your life where you're at work, you're with the family, and then you have this dark
Oh yeah.
interior life
I like
where
I like to call it a sludge. It kind of
sludge.
it's a
Thank you.
sludge.
Yeah. Okay. So let's use sludge. Yeah.
Yes.
You've got this sludge that you're trudging through also
Yes.
that
Yes.
nobody else knows about.
Nobody.
And you're, you have the face of, oh, I'm here and I'm at work and I'm with my kids and I'm at
Correct.
the
Correct.
school
100%.
meetings. And then
Yeah.
I have,
I've never missed a day of work because of it. I have never been to, a hospital. I've never been to an ER for it. I have suffered through it. I've taken a medication like an anxiety like a quick acting anxiety med. I've probably taken that twice in my life. Nobody would know that I am anything but functional.
yeah. And did you feel functional?
I mean, to a point where I get everything done. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, my I's are dotted, my T's are crossed, and
Sure.
my kids are very taken care of, and I'm very productive. But inside it's a whole different story.
And could you really enjoy anything? Or was there always this thing? Yes, you
Right.
got everything done and commend you for that. But on the
Yeah.
emotion side, how was it?
Just a tornado nightmare inside a lot of the time. I think and I know, I don't think, I know it stole a lot from me, as far as, being present with my kids. And I have a hard time, it's a regret of mine, but I know I couldn't, it's nothing that I could choose differently. I did the best I could. I do the
Of course.
best I can.
Yeah. Of course.
But it does steal a lot of moments from me. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of anger with that.
No doubt. Right. I mean, how you balance the two worlds, I think, is something that so many people struggle with because they have this sludge, as you say, on the inside, and they have this life on the outside, and they have to figure out how to get through all of this
Yeah.
and be able to function.
Right.
And of course, with, the diagnostic manual, and I'm sure you've looked at this, I think gives an incomplete definition of OCD because it talks about anxiety or discomfort, but it's also shame and
Oh,
guilt and disgust and all these
absolutely.
other emotions. What were some of
Fear.
just the driving terrible feelings that you were going through in that sludge of emotion?
Oh gosh. I mean, looking back now, I would say fear, um, self-doubt.
The food.
I think my confidence levels have a lot to do with that. I don't think a lot of times that I'm good enough. And I think that might come from, childhood and things like that. But just the doubt, the what ifs. I know that's like the big poster child of OCD is what if, and that boils down to doubt. I mean, it's doubt, fear, and lack of self-confidence. I feel like those are my big major
Yeah.
triggers.
How do you deal with those now?
Um, I mean, my therapist is just phenomenal. She's like one of the best human beings I've ever met. So you guys are so lucky to have her.
Awesome.
Um,
Awesome.
and she has, I mean, she's really given me some tips and tricks. The app helps phenomenally. I'm on it all the time, to do my exposures. That helps a lot. I just have to accept that the maybe not. That's one of my exposures that I do. Maybe yes, maybe no, and just, let it go. Because nobody can ever be 100% certain with any of those things, fear, doubt,
Of course.
self-confidence. I mean, yeah. So I just do the best I can. I know I'm a great mom and I have great kids, and I have people tell me that all the time, and I do the best I can for them, and just day by day.
As an avid user of the app, then
Mm.
what do you really get out of it? What do you enjoy
Oh
from it?
man.
Because I realize I don't know that I've asked anyone that question. Now, maybe that'd be a good idea to just throw
It's
that out. But as someone who's really enjoying the app, how do you use it, and what do you get from it as a way to help encourage other people to maybe get it
right.
downloaded and start to use it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So, like I have to watch because I have to keep a good balance, because sometimes I can be, to where I use it as a compulsion,
Right.
where I get on and I am checking the message board to see, to make myself feel better, you know. I have to watch because a lot of the times, I am, and I'm sorry to my therapist. I bug her all the time in the messages, but I'm looking a lot for messages and reassurance, which I know is a big, that's a big no for that. So, and sometimes she'll tell me that she makes me wait on purpose
Yeah, that's
to
great. That's great.
write back so that
Mhm.
I can kind of work my way through the sludge.
Yeah.
And it does work. It does work.
Mhm.
But for the most of the time, I love the accessibility of the SOS button. I've used that quite a few times. And I'll just kind of sit with it and listen, and it'll get me through those really sticky moments. I love the journaling portion of it. I journal. You can kind of tell when I'm having good and bad days, because I'll journal a lot on my bad days and maybe just
Mhm.
once every other day, if things are going good.
Okay.
And sometimes if I'm really brave, I can look back at my hard days and look at my journal entries, on my hard days, and realize how far I've come if I'm brave.
Gotcha.
Um, the journaling is great. The exposures are wonderful. I love how you can rate your exposures. One of my big exposures and fears right now is just being out with my kids and worrying about, panic and having a big spin out, I guess, and so I will, if I'm driving with my kids, I'll start my app. I will go to my exposure and I will start it, and I will say how I'm feeling. I'll rate my feelings, and then I will, once I get to my destination, I can finish it. And I feel accomplished when I do my exposures. And even though some days I feel like I'm just thick in it and, it's not helping, I can look back and definitely see that it's helped. So that I love that aspect of it.
That's great.
And then, yeah, the accessibility of the Zoom is fantastic because I can be anywhere and do that. I don't have to schedule in person to where I have to rearrange my whole schedule, my work, picking up the kids. I mean, the accessibility of the Zoom is fantastic. So
Good.
yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
a great, it's just fantastic. Really, really life-changing for OCD.
And sometimes people wonder, in person versus virtual, how has the virtual experience been from a therapeutic point of view for you?
I mean, I've done both.
Mhm.
If I could be in person with mine, I would love it because I would give her the biggest hug ever. I would love to just thank her for every second she's helped me. But I mean, the Zoom is great because like I said, I can be anywhere. I travel as a nurse, so I'm all over the place. And if I can catch a minute after work or before work or, on my lunch break, it just works perfectly. So.
Mhm. Looking at your life pre and post finding ERP for OCD, what are some of the major differences that you've experienced?
Oh man. I mean, I just kind of pushed it under the rug and kind of, I guess, like, your Tupperware closet or your Tupperware cabinet where you
Yeah.
shove everything in the Tupperware cabinet and you just close the door and just hope that it stays in.
Yeah.
Some days it stayed in, some days it didn't. Now I kind of feel like I'm organizing my cabinet. So, it's just, those exposures really help me feel accomplished. I'm proud of myself when I do those things. And I can look back and see, what I've done for the day. And even if it's a tiny win, I mean, even the other day on the message board, it was something with just tell me your wins for the day. And it was great to go through there and see everybody's little tiny wins, even if they were just minuscule, and it was like, I like looking back at things like that. So the ERP is it's really a game changer for OCD.
That's cool. What are some of your wins?
Oh man. Just my biggest wins are just being with my kids, being present with my kids. I have a lot of, I guess, harm OCD thoughts. And they kind of just hang with my kids. They hang with my husband. I love you, but they, like I said, it focuses on, it tries to get who you care about. It doesn't matter,
Yeah. I did an interview once with someone and she said, I come down every morning and I see my dog and my OCD says, maybe you want to stab your dog. And she just picks up her dog and hugs her dog and says, I must love you so much if my OCD wants you dead every day. And that's how she just answers. And OCD gets foiled again by that whole thing.
Yes, it does.
So,
it does. Yeah. And a little side note, I forgot to say, I really enjoy the support groups.
Oh, good.
That kind of when I'll go off on a little tangent on that, but the humor that you just used made me think of the support group last night. I think it was whatever was on Sunday nights, but the whole it was like the taboo OCD thoughts support group.
The one Tracy
and
does.
Yes, and she's wonderful. That was the first time I've ever been around her, and the way she uses humor really like changed my thought process on that. And we were laughing, and I thought, wow, this is a whole different way to look at it, with the humor. So that helped quite a bit last night. And then the support groups with the app are just fantastic because it gives me something to look forward to. I can put it on mute and just do my dishes and listen to others that are like me. Yep. I've never spoken out in a support group. I just always listen. But it's just really nice to know that there's so many other people like us, because it can make you feel so isolated, and that you're the only person in the world with this, when in reality, you're not. So
sometimes as a therapist, I can tell people, they tell me something, they look at me like waiting for the shock on my face. And I say, you're about the 7,000th person who's told me that. And they just are like, what do you mean? Oh my God. Yeah.
And that's how you found a good one, is when they just know.
Mm-hmm.
But back to my wins. A lot of my wins are just, I guess, just focused around my kids. I try to give them the best life. My husband and I try to give them the best life that we can. A lot of things, that I didn't get to do growing up, sports and trips. And I mean, we just do everything that we can do. And sometimes most of the wins are just, being present with them, enjoying the moment with them, seeing life through their eyes, and just keeping OCD in that closet back there,
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really, it's got to, well, tell me what you think of this, but I would think it's got to be nice even to look forward to doing things now versus probably dreading,
oh, sure.
How is this going to get ruined by OCD or something like that?
Sure. And, I mean, nowadays I find that, now that I've, had the therapy and doing the ERP, I've found that I can recognize that I have, like my logical brain, and then I have my OCD brain.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm finding that when I get like compounding stressors, last week I had a terrible week. Everything just was going wrong. I just had to stop at a car accident, and that was traumatic, and everything was just piling up, and my therapist, Angie, talks about, keeping the cork floating. You want to let that cork kind of float. And I had stressors on top of stressors on top of stressors last week, and I knew it was coming. I did the best I could, but it came at me, probably Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It let up a little bit Sunday. but it was, so I still have those days that are really dark, that are really rough. But being able to use the ERP, and separate myself from that OCD brain. And when I'm in that logical brain moment, like, I'm so thankful for my life. I'm so thankful for my kids. I'm so thankful for my family. I'm so thankful for the sun. Like, when I'm in that brain and it's me, and OCD is not attached to me at that moment in time, those moments are priceless. Priceless.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. But I mean, I also have, like, on the app, I have Conqueror behind my name.
Nice.
So
congratulations on that. That's wonderful.
Thank you. But I will be the first to tell people that it's not really conquered. Right. It's just managed. Yeah. And I am understanding that, this is going to be something that's lifelong. It's going to ebb and flow. I'm going to have rough days, where I, can't see the end and can't wait till I can go to bed and close my eyes and restart the day. But I also, realize that they're not going to last, and I've been here before. So.
Yeah. And for us, that conqueror, what that really means is that you've taken a significant bite out of the influence of OCD on your life. You're right. It doesn't mean you don't Absolutely. Have it, right? But you are starting to really live the life that you want to live, and not the life that OCD wants you to live. And that's Correct. What we're talking about with that.
Yep.
And we know that OCD is a chronic condition, which is why you can see your NOCD therapist for years, right? Yeah. And in a maintenance level, just to be able to make sure that now and then you have a session just to check in and make Correct. Sure you're using the skills that you've learned. And if there's a flare up, you can schedule more sessions if you need to help. And you've got the messaging Absolutely. And you've got the app and you've got the SOS. We've tried to make that full package available to everybody so that OCD takes a backseat in your life.
Yeah. And it's so important. It's so important because you are, like, as I've learned, you are not OCD. You are not what it tells you. You are actually the complete opposite of what it tells you. Those thoughts are not you. They're so not you.
Yeah. You didn't have to come on here and start talking about this and telling your story. And it sounds like you've been rather private about it up until now.
Absolutely.
Why the change? What's the impetus of all of this for you?
So I am doing this, and I will try to keep my emotions here. You
could be emotions. We're good.
Okay. So I am doing this for my kids. So no one wants to sit and talk and, sit with your kids and tell them that this is what your thoughts are. Kids aren't going to understand that. Adults don't understand that. When I was growing up, we had a lot of anxiety, and there's a lot of mental health issues in my family, and it was never talked about. It was always brushed under the rug. People cried behind closed doors. People were hospitalized and nobody talked about it. And to this day, my family members, nobody wants to talk about it. It's just something that we don't talk about.
Right.
I was raised in a pretty strict Catholic household, and if something was wrong or bothering me, we were told to pray about it, and it was never discussed. Yeah. And my kids will not know that. Okay. They will know that mom struggles. But mom does the best she can. They will know that they are so loved, and they are the best things that ever happened to me. I'm thankful for them every single day. My daughter knows, she can tell me, she'll ask me, Mom, what's your level today? What number are you today? And she goes, Mom, you got this, and I was having a rough day. I was having a rough week, and I put lunches in my kids, I put notes in my kids' lunch boxes, and I got one in mine, and my daughter was telling me that, basically what I tell them, that it's okay to not be okay. And you get to come home and we get to be a family and be together. And they listen, even when you think they're not listening, they listen.
Yeah.
And, they know that I have anxiety. I haven't really tipped on the OCD part yet, because they're little. They're not going to understand that yet.
Yeah.
But I do know that it can be, have some genetic components. I know, I have some people in my family that definitely have some OCD tendencies. They won't do anything about it. But I mean, that's just how they live their life, but we're not going to do that in this house. So, we talk about things every day. Every day we go through our day and say, give me something good about your day. Tell me something bad about your day. How are you feeling? It's okay to have anxiety. That's part of life. Let's talk about it. Let's figure out what we can do to make it better. So if I can do this, and not just even my kids, like if I can do this to help one single person, for them to know that they are not alone, and that you can be the most professional, well put together person, and you can have this sludge inside that just overtakes your logical brain on some days, most days. And that you can do this. You are not what OCD tells you. And OCD is not just washing your hands. I've had a lot of people, if we get to talking about OCD, the first thing is they're like, well, isn't that just where you wash your hands all the time and you like line things up? And I'm, I want to scream to them from the rooftops that, that is not, it's one component, but that's just not it, and I think the more awareness that we can bring to this, if it can just help one single person, through that dark time where they're spiraling and they feel like they're just panic, they can't get out of that panic spiral, then I've done my job. And if my kids can look back at this one day and they can watch, mom open up and just know that they were loved. And this is how I helped myself. I don't drink. I don't have any like self-destructive behaviors. I do the best I can, with the journaling and I, I've started another app where I do like meditation recommended by my counselor, and I'm going to do it the right way instead of how things were when I was little. So
yeah,
it's for my kids and to help just that one single person out there that I know is like me.
Yeah. One of the things you said, and I want to pick up on, is the idea that a lot of people think that OCD is either washing your hands or straightening things. And the reality of it is that is a portion of OCD, but not the most portion. It just happens to be the one that's most portrayed in TVs and movies and things of that nature. The harm and the taboo thoughts of OCD are actually the most common forms of OCD.
Yeah.
And so when people hear that, they're often surprised because they just have this notion from television that it is just washing your hands and checking locks and stoves.
Yep.
I cannot tell you how many times back when I was doing this live, I spent standing at train tracks with people behind me thinking about pushing me under the train, or at the top of stairs with people with their hands on my shoulders contemplating pushing me down the stairs, and all of these things. And I'm still here proving my point, which is OCD is a what if disorder, right? It's
correct.
And yet those what ifs can feel so real to people.
So real. So real.
Everyone will ask me, why does it feel so real? And my reply is very simple. And that is because it has to. If it didn't feel real, I don't have a job, right? Because you would just be able to go, oh, well, So I mean, it'd be like, well, you don't need to talk to me if that's the case, right?
And I often, I'm so jealous of people that don't have, my brain. I often ask my husband, what's it feel like to just be you and just, he's happy all the time and nothing bothers him. And, he can slam a Mountain Dew and go to bed. And it's like, what's it like to be you? Just for one day. I would just love to know what it's like to be like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As you think about this, and I liked what you said about leaving something for your children, I'll often ask at the end here for people to describe what piece of advice you want to give to listeners, but I'm going to change that for you. What's the piece of advice you want to leave for your children?
Oh goodness. That, if the day comes where this, affects your life, I hope that it doesn't, but if it does, I hope they can look back and, see that mom did the best she could. There's no shame in it. I hope I'm around long enough to help them through it. But just that you can do it with the right tools. And it's just something that it's just another facet of your personality. Like it's just something that you can learn to live with. You can learn to manage. It's not the end of the world. Those moments when you feel like it's the absolute end of the world, it's not. You'll come out on the other side. Just remember your coping skills, and that I'm always here for you. Always.
Then I'm going to do one more piece that I don't normally do in any interviews, but I'll do a little PS version here. So this was the first time you were really open and talking about OCD and everything. I'm going to bet there was a range of emotions prior to joining on this call today.
Oh man, yes, absolutely.
Doubt, regret. Why did I reach out for this?
Terrified. I was shaking when I was brushing my teeth this morning.
Well, you got an extra good brush. That is.
I did. Yes, I did.
That's. But you came through. You did it. Wonderful job. How does it feel on the back end to now talk about this?
I mean, the world's going to know. And I did tell a couple people, that I was doing this. And I told them that, when I see the final version, I think I'll have to get to the next level of brave to kind of let people watch it. Cause for a while leading up to this, I was terrified. I'm a nurse, I take care of people. I'm an award-winning nurse. And now people are going to see this side of me and, what are they going to think? Am I going to be judged? Are people going to worry about, leaving their kids alone with me? It's terrifying, when in reality, it's the complete opposite. Like I was telling my therapist the other day, like if I find a spider in the house or a fly, like I cup it and I let it go. Like, so that's and that's who I am.
Sure.
But to have this facet is like, if you don't understand, I mean, you'll be judged, Yeah. So, but yeah, there was a range of emotions coming to do this, definitely. And it started with dread. What did I do? Oh my gosh, what are people going to think? But I bet that the majority of people will say, man, I'm kind of like that too. Mm-hmm. Like I know somebody that's like that, or, I think you'd be surprised, how many people, that struggle with one thing or another. And I just wish that we could be more open about it. I just wish that we had like bubbles on top of our head that gave our bio, so we could look and say, hey, there's an OCD, there's a fellow OCD person, high five, you got this.
Right.
And
the thing that I love about it too is I hope it continues to let people know that we are a multifaceted person, right? You can be an award-winning, successful nurse and still struggle with something. Right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's not assume that everybody every day has it all together, and let's take time to check in with everybody and just make sure that we're doing well mentally and
Yes.
physically, not just
Absolutely.
physically. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I also, this is like a little tangent, but, like when I were to go to talk therapy back like in the summer, it took 6 months before they called me back, to try to get in to talk to somebody. So that's another good thing about the app is that you can get right in. So that in itself is priceless.
Yeah.
I mean, because I called in May and they just called me back in September to get an appointment. So if I wouldn't have done anything, what kind of destructive behaviors would I have chosen? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. So you had reached out to someone and they waited 6 months to call you back. But with the app, we got you in probably within a week or so.
Yeah, it was within days I got in with you guys. So yeah,
that's great.
That in itself is priceless. And I will say, just to finish this, that I am just so thankful for this app. I am so thankful for your services. I've never considered suicide. But I will say that I can see why that would be an option for people that are tortured like this, if they don't have the proper help. So I get it. I've been there. But I am so eternally thankful for this option because it saved my life. It not in a literal sense, but it saved my life by, slowly giving me my life back. So
that's awesome. Well, yeah. I couldn't think of a better way to end, and just to say thank you for being you and your bravery for being here today and your openness. And I know it will influence a lot of people. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Another great episode of the Get to Know OCD podcast. Thanks, Jen, for being here today. It was amazing. And thank all of you for watching. If you like the Get to Know OCD podcast, you can go to our NOCD YouTube channel and subscribe, or you can get it where you get your favorite podcasts. And if you're looking for help for OCD or related conditions like body-focused repetitive behaviors like hair pulling or skin picking, and we do work with tics and hoarding and anxiety and mood concerns and trauma, reach out to us at nocd.com. That's NOCD.com. We'll see you again soon for another episode of the Get to Know OCD podcast. And remember, be better to yourself than your OCD ever will be. Thanks. We'll see you soon.